Hey guys, we're back to working on Gretchen the Gleaner again. I've got the new clean grain elevator chain put together. It's over in the workshop right now. Working on a few things here on the combine. As you can see, I've got the elevator housing itself off. Had to take it off in order to get the old sprocket off. I've got a replacement sprocket on that shaft. That was the original lower sprocket, and that is the upper sprocket. So I've got that one on the shaft that goes up top also. I've got to do some sheet metal repairs. And of course I can't turn it over with one hand, but I've got to do some repairs on the clean out door and there on the bottom of the tube while that is off. I've got a new bearing. That one is the tailings auger, and I wasn't gonna mess with it, but I realized that the shaft collar, or the locking collar for the bearing on this side, was not installed correctly, and so the bearing had come out of the collar and the shaft was walking all over the place. So I put the collar back on and tightened it up, and then that bearing seems like it's not good either. So I only got 6 bearings for this job. 4 of them are for up there. So the other 2, one will go on this shaft and I'll put the other one on this shaft, and at some point later on I'll get 2 more and I'll do the other side, but that's where we're at for now. So I'm gonna work on getting this bearing changed, and then we'll go from there, see what makes sense to do next. Okay, so if you're like me and you haven't messed with one of these slip clutch setups before, this piece is the piece that actually pins onto the shaft. And what Gleaner is using here is they're actually using 2 roll pins, one inside of the other. So the outer one, or the bigger one, is a 5/16 diameter roll pin, and then it has a 3/16 diameter pin driven down inside of it. So it took me a little bit to figure that out. I actually had to go look at the book for that, and but that's the way it is supposed to be set up, and that's the way this one is. So, and then so from there, you've got your 2 dogs that go over it. I need to wipe that off, but those 3 posts, there's 3 notches on here that locates into, and then your other one goes on, and then your sprocket has 3 holes that locate over this one. So, and then your spring and your bolt and everything goes on, and you just tighten up the bolt against the end of the shaft, and it's pretty straightforward as far as that goes. At least that's what it seems like. Okay, so since we haven't found enough stuff that was wrong with this yet, this is the auger for filling the grain tank on the combine, and that is a piece of, oh hush, that is a piece of a spare auger for my all crop. Anyway, this is all that was left of this end of this auger, so I cut some of the flighting off of that one that was in less bad shape, and my version of Jack from Nelson's channel. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna weld this on here. This is as far as the flighting went before. It basically comes to the end of the tube, the fill tube that's in the tank. So I'll get that welded on and figure out what I'm gonna work on next. Okay, so we're back to working on this again. Of course, obviously this is the clean grain elevator tube. This is in pretty rough shape from the, this is actually kind of upside down right now. So this would be, I'm calling it the bottom, but this would be facing forward and the chain drags up on this side. So anyway, because the chain was running so loose, it's been catching down here and it's torn this up. The clean out door has seen better days. The hinge is stuck. And then up here, this is the tube where it comes in and fills the bin. And this is torn up like this. I'm not real sure how I want to go about fixing this end yet. Because this tube, I think, I'm not exactly sure how this is set up yet. But I don't know if I want to just lay a piece inside of this and just pop rivet it in. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to decide on that. But anyway, for right now, what I think I'm gonna do, because this door is shot and this hinge is shot, I've got a new piece of piano hinge up in the garage. I think I'm just gonna cut this off back here and mount my new hinge a little farther back and just try to make a new clean out door to go all the way around and cover up that extra area. So that's my thought at the moment. Don't know if it's a good one or not, but that's where I'm gonna start. Should I tell her that that's just a piece of sandpaper, or just let her think it's something more than that? Get it. Get it. Okay, so I've got my new door partly finished and on here. This is a piece of the grain tank sheet metal from my old parts all crop combine that I scrapped last spring. I should have kept more of that sheet metal. But anyway, so yeah, I've got it riveted into my new piano hinge, and the hinge riveted into the boot. So what I have left to do, I need to make a piece that I can attach or hook my latch into. Initially I was going to try to bend this to serve that purpose, but this is too thin. It didn't want to hold when I flip this around, it just wanted to bend this. So I'm going to either take a piece of light angle iron or some heavier sheet metal and bend something up for this to hook onto and then weld it onto here. The other thing I want to do, compared to the old cover here, you see how it's got that lip rolled around on the side. So I cut this to have some extra material on each side. So what I'm probably going to do, since this is curved, I'll probably just come in and take a grinder and a cut-off wheel and just cut notches every so often and bend it around and tack weld it back together. At the moment, I think that's the plan. Plans tend to change, but yeah, we're making progress. It's slowly getting closer. Okay, so I think I've got my new end for this buttoned up. Made a piece to go here. This is about twice as thick as the rest of this is. I did have to bend it a little farther to get a little bit more of a snap on my latch. But I think that'll work. And then as far as the flanges on the outside, I just took the die grinder and cut it in about 1,000 places, and then bent it around with a pair of pliers and welded all those little spots. See if I can do this one-handed. And it seems to work, so I think that's it for this part of this project anyway, other than painting it. My brother usually gives me heck about never painting it, so I'll go ahead and paint this just for you, Neil, but don't expect this every time. See if I can get this slid back in there without killing myself. Oh, what fun. Well, it's finally time to try to feed the new chain in. And I'm not real sure how this is going to work, or if it's going to work. Well, I put it together the same length or the same number of links as the old chain, and it looks like I'm a link short. Good times. Well, I think I may go ahead and call this a video here. I've got a little more work to do on getting this assembly back together. I have my new sprockets, but I still need to make the hubs for them. I didn't just buy off-the-shelf hubs because those, the way the shafts are made, those actually pin in place instead of having keys in them. So I'm just gonna, I bought just blank sprockets, and I'm gonna make hubs for them and just weld them in. So I've still got that left to do. I've got this chain left to remake. This one is for the tailings elevator. And then on the other side, I still have, I want to go ahead and replace that bearing and that bearing while I'm here. I've got them, I just need to do it. But that's not really that interesting to watch. So once I get that bearing replaced, and I can put this chain back on, and that bearing, I really don't know. I should redo the count again and where I'm at with replacing bearings on this thing. getting close to 30, I think, but I really don't remember right offhand. But anyway, if you're still here, thank you for watching. This probably got turned into another long video and not a real exciting one, but anyway, I'm glad to have that elevator chain in and have the elevator tube back on, and I think I'm gonna have to stop fixing stuff after this and just hope we can get it to, hope it'll make it through harvest with what we've done. So, because it's about that time of year. So anyway, thank you all again for watching. Yeah, hope we all have a good one.